Good evening. Welcome. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Show Low City Council to order. By roll call, see that all council members are present with the exception of Council Member Hatch, who's asked to be excused this evening. We'd like to welcome those that are with us here tonight in the council chambers, as well as any citizens that might be watching on City 56 or any other internet device tonight. We'd like to begin by an invocation. We've asked Council Member Kelly if he'd lead us in invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Council Member Crittenden. Those who'd like to join with us, please stand.
Our Father in heaven, dear God, I truly thank you for the very privilege of living on this beautiful mountain. I ask that you'd be with the council tonight as we deliberate the subjects before us, that we might really make wise decisions on behalf of the citizens of Show Low. I ask that you continue to be with our service personnel at home and abroad. Guide and direct them, give them wisdom, protect them, bring them back to us. And our first responders, our public safety personnel. It's hard for us to understand what this nation is going through. Forgive us where we fail you individually. Give us wisdom. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just on a heartfelt note, this evening we'd like to extend our condolences to Debbie Alsop and Mike. Debbie lost her mother this past week and after a long battle, and we're just with them and appreciate what they do for our community and wish them the best. Thanks for being with us. Tonight we have call to the public. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that is not scheduled on the agenda may do so at this time. Know that your time is limited to 3 minutes. Seeing nobody moved, I'll close call to the public. Come back, I'm asking for a change on the schedule here. We'd like to go to the consent calendar at this time if we could, and then we'll come back to special events, okay? So on the consent calendar, is there any item that needs to be pulled? Okay, we'll go through the consent calendar. When we have a proclamation proclaiming November the 10th through the 16th as Community Fast of Compassion for Those in Need Week. We have a proclamation of the mayor proclaiming October 20th to the 26th as Arizona Cities and Towns Week. A proclamation by the mayor proclaiming October 2019 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And then proclamation proclaiming October 2019 as Substance Abuse Prevention Month. Consideration of resolution number 2019-29, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the White Mountain Apache Tribe for law enforcement, and a consideration of the acceptance of the grant funds from the Rural Activation and Innovation Network and authorization of the associated budget transfer in the minutes of the September 17th meeting. Are there any comments or look for a motion? Moved by Vice Mayor. Is there second by Councilwoman Kakavas? Any other discussion? Councilmember Kelly?
I was wondering if it would be okay to have further explanation on item E.
Item E.
Intergovernmental agreement. Not that it's in question, but just for education.
Mr. Shelley,
Sake, ourselves and the public, I think would appreciate a comment or two.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Mayor and City Council, the intergovernmental agreement is a continuation that we've had with them the last several years. The reason why we do this is to kind of solidify our agreement or help back and forth and the legalities. I get with Mr. Morgan on that. But the legalities of working down there in the reservation as opposed to anywhere in Arizona are just a little different, and that's what this agreement is for, is to ensure that we're covered by their rules and regulations and are working with them vice versa with us.
Thank you.
Any other comments, discussion on that? Okay, thank you. This time I'll look, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of the consent calendar?
All right.
Any opposed? See that pass 6-0. This time I'd like to read the proclamation for the community fast. It says, whereas community service has always been a part of America's as well as Show Low's heritage, and whereas the number of those in need in our area seems to be an always growing number, and the people of our community have always shown a sincere desire to help those in need, especially during the holiday season. And whereas a number of faith-based and other organizations approached the city of Show Low in 2013 with a plan to help those in need for our community. Whereas the city of Show Low embraced this concept, out of which was born the community fast of compassion for those in need. And whereas the city of Show Low and its citizens have discovered that the community fast is a very worthwhile cause that has made a huge difference in the lives of many in our community. Now, therefore, I, Darrell Seymour, Mayor, on behalf of the Show Low City Council, do hereby proclaim November 10th to the 16th, 2019 as Community Fast of Compassion for Those in Need Week, and urge all citizens of Show Low to come together for the 7th Annual Community Fast of Compassion for Those in Need. Join us in setting aside one day during this week to fast and pray for guidance, grace, and protection for our great city and nation as we address the challenges of our time and the concerns of those in need. Donate the cost of 1 or 2 meals or more if possible from this fast to this worthy cause, with donations accepted at the Show Low City Hall, National Bank of Arizona, Chase Bank, Washington Federal, and the Arizona Central Credit Union, and join with us in a community celebration on November 24th, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the Show Low School District Auditorium, dated this 15th day of October. Thank you. This time I'd like to present this proclamation to the members of the committee, Steve Williams, Steve Heckathorn, and Becky Clark, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. This is the 7th, as you said, the 7th annual community fast. The 3 of us are here on behalf of a 7-member committee for the fast. We're excited for this every year. The first year, you'll remember, there was about $9,000 raised. We thought if we could raise $5,000 to help people in need, that would be a success. The community donated $9,000 that first year. Last year, we were north of $20,000. It's just grown every year. For those that may not be familiar with it, that might be watching on television, during that week, as you said in the proclamation, Mayor, people are invited to fast if they can for 1 or 2 meals, take the money they would have spent or more, donate it at any of the banks in Show Low or here at City Hall, and every penny that gets donated goes to help local families in need over the holidays. So the FAST committee identifies groups that are in a position to identify people that need help over the holidays, and that money goes to pay for heating bills or groceries or clothes or modest gifts for children. And that celebration, the wrap-up celebration on the 24th of November this year at the high school auditorium in Show Low is really neat. There's musical numbers. The Show Low Showbiz Choir performed last year, some of the churches in town that participated, but it's always inspiring to hear stories of how the monies were used the previous year to bless people's lives. It's this is a success because of the people in Show Low and the businesses, but also because of your support of it. And this is a community event, and we're grateful to be a part of it. So I wanted to extend a personal invitation for each council member to come to that celebration on the 24th. If you're able to be there, we would love to have you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I just jotted down a few notes. Is it okay?
Sure.
Take my liberty here. One of the things that when you come before a body like this, you don't always say what you want to say. And tonight I'd like to say what's really on my heart. First of all, I want to thank you, Mayor and City Council, for supporting the Community Fast fundraising event. Without the City of Show Low support, this event would never be where it is today. The reality is, as a resident of Show Low, which I've been now 9 years, I'm proud to live in a city that promotes one of the greatest human qualities among all our residents, compassion. The Community Fast of Compassion. I want to sincerely thank you for your support and just the effort that you have made as a city to get behind this and what it's become in our community. This is not an ecumenical movement. It's not even a church movement any longer. But its Fast of Compassion does highlight the one corporate fundamental we have among our churches and our citizens and our culture here in Show Low. This culture is why so many people love and want to live in Show Low, Arizona. As religious leaders and people, we may meet in different places of worship on Sunday, but we all share the same heart of compassion for those in our community who are hurting and in need of help. Community comes from two words, common unity. It is with that sentiment I would like to invite each of you as city council members to join with us in the fast this year itself. And we understand that if you can't fast, that's fine. Medically, if you can't fast, you shouldn't fast. We have many people that become part of the fast that can't fast, but just want to be a part of the community. But I would like you to join, if you would consider, as council members and to lead the way as city council and city of Show Low. And join us in the community celebration at the Show Low High School Auditorium on Sunday evening, 24th of November at 6 p.m. As I said, this is not a church or a religious event. It's truly a community event. I think one of the greatest experiences of life is to be a part of something that transcends what and who you are, and truly appreciating being a part of something that is bigger than who you are individually. As we look around at the progress of the city of Show Low, we see that Show Low is a beacon in the White Mountains. Let's let that beacon also be a beacon of hope for those in our community who need hope and help. Thank you so much for your support.
Let me interrupt a second. You said November 24th for the meeting at the Show Low District High School District Auditorium. Our document here says November 17th.
It's the fast, but the very end celebration on November 12th. You updated that today. The
Yes, Rennie here.
proclamation is correct. But,
The
24th?
celebration is the 24th.
Okay, that's,
Yes.
I was just wondering. Okay.
And I would just like to just reiterate, that celebration is really a celebration of Show Low, the citizens of Show Low, and the fact that we value helping those that are less fortunate in our community. It's patriotic, it's encouraging, and it's uplifting. If you get a chance, come join us. See what we're celebrating about Show Low. Thank you.
thank you. Becky, I'm sure you want to say a lot tonight. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
say thank you? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much, Mark.
Sir, thank you. You're the ones doing the work.
We need you. Your support behind this is amazing.
Good job.
Thank you so.
Way to go.
Thank you. You're the ones doing the work. Keep it up.
At this time, we have a short video presentation about Arizona Cities and Towns Week, which had an item B here on the consent calendar.
Day and night, sun up to sundown. People who ensure the safety, protection, well-being, the convenience and enrichment. Those who live, work, and play in every city and town in Arizona are constantly at work. And thanks to each and every one of these services, many that you never think of, Arizona cities keep businesses at work, libraries open, traffic lights blinking, clean water flowing, and so much more, keeping life as we know it moving. They say that a city never sleeps, and thanks to Arizona Cities at Work, that has never been so true. Learn more about how your Arizona cities and towns work.
Thank you. Fun little tidbit of what happens behind the scenes most of the time. At this time, we'll come back to special events. We have a presentation, a semi-annual report of our Show Low Chamber of Commerce. Turn the time now to Jimmy Applegate.
Really sure where to put that where most of our audience at home can see it.
You think you can see it there?
Are you looking at what I'm looking at? Is that
Mhm.
white screen? Okay. Mayor, council, thanks for the opportunity to visit with you. Thanks you for your continued support of the Show Low Chamber and opportunity to report to you today. I want to outline just some of the normal things that we report, the numbers, as I go through the quarterly report, and show you some of the changes that we've made in the forms that you're used to seeing. We've updated them and made them a little bit better. So the first report is that one. The first report is a chamber membership report. And so it'll show you expansions and membership drops as a contrast from 2018 to 2019, going month by month. And so you can kind of compare. The change that we made is the additional two bottom boxes. One of them is a 2019 members expansion, and one of them is just the drop. So now we're able to look month by month exactly which companies were the ones that added to the Chamber of Commerce and which ones were dropped from the Chamber of Commerce. So especially those ones that are expanded, we can certainly go out there and thank them and thank them by utilizing their business or patronize their companies. And then the ones that dropped, certainly give them a headlock and put them in a headlock and see if we can get them back as members of the Chamber of Commerce. I say that jokingly, but anyway, that's there to help you understand a little bit better and more clarity of what we have on that report. The second report is where we get into the Tourist Information Center, and it shows just this quarter's monthly numbers of the visitors that came in by location. And then the next box down is another addition, or the next row down is another addition showing the monthly visitor account by age. We added that about a year and a half ago, and we didn't have a place to put it on this form. And so we thought through our numbers a lot and changed them to 0 to 30 of age, 31 to 60 of age, and then 60 and older years of age. And so we track those groups as they come to the chamber to help us get a better understanding of which age group are coming to the Chamber of Commerce. And so now we can see that in the middle of this report, and you can kind of see the differences in ages. August is a great month to take a look at. 57 people of the people that came in, 57 were 0 to 30. 31 to 60 was 324, a huge jump, and then over 61, 282. So anyway, that's kind of a good comparison on that piece of paper right there. The next form or next page has the contrast for the entire year of 2018 up against 2019, where we're at and up to the third quarter. So it gives you the opportunity to look at local, in-state, and out-of-state as you can bounce the numbers back and forth from the second quarter, first quarter, and third quarter and see exactly where we are. You'll notice that the monthly visitors count by age is on there as well now. We won't have, of course, first quarter because we just started tracking that, but next year we'll be able to kind of get an idea of what that looks like as it tracks up and down. And then that pie graph in the middle shows visitor count by location. So 22% of the folks that came in were local, which is White Mountain area zip codes. The red was 44% came from in-state, and then 30 came from out-of-state, and the small sliver there, which is supposed to be purple, is from people that came in from foreign countries. And so the numbers, if you look closely, the numbers are nicer than that we've seen up and down. They're both a little bit of both. We had looked at for a while and seen a trend of down, and of course, we're always looking at that. As you look at visitor count 2018 to 2019, the bottom two rows there, that's month by month, and you can just look at the total and look at, for instance, April, 464 came in April as opposed to last April was only 146. The May is pretty close, 648, 659. The June is higher in 2019, 517 to 409. So there's ups and downs throughout that. August back down.
Jimmy, weren't you guys remodeling in April last year?
No, the year before. Thanks, though.
It
was the year before. We were done with that. And so, but you can look at those numbers in April and of that year we were modeling and certainly see numbers that were down, probably because we couldn't find the paper when we were modeling, but you know, that's how that goes sometimes. Anyway, last page is the actual numbers, and I never like reporting these numbers in this month because it always shows a down, and it really, trust me, it's just timing. The only good thing about this is it shows the budget of being down 13, but we're really only down 11. So it's good. It really is on track. And once the normal regular payment from the city's contribution comes in, it bumps that back up, and we're right back where we're supposed to be. So it's really just about timing. But the big news that I wanted to share with council tonight, and probably mostly the public at home and those that are here, is a new initiative that the Chamber of Commerce is putting on along with the Tourist Information Center together, is a Key 3 campaign, a marketing campaign, whereby we will strive to unite local businesses, city staff, chamber staff, and local residents with 3 key events that we will be promoting each and every month. So each month there'll be 3 events, which are events in the city of Show Low, or hosted by the city of Show Low, or hosted by the Chamber of Commerce, or hosted by a local business or entity that's putting on an event. And we'll pick the biggest 3 that we think. Usually it'll be ones that are economically driven or ones that we think will bring people in from the outside, and those would be the ones that we promote. We're currently in phase 1, where we're talking with many hotels and eateries, restaurants throughout the area, and striving to get their staff on board with the program. And each month we'll train them up into what the events are and give them the pertinent details. And then we'll do this in a low-tech way with a kiosk, which I've put here to my left. I hope it can be seen. I don't know. And people will start seeing a kiosk like this, that it will be a floor stand or one that sits on a countertop, or even one maybe that's mounted to a wall behind a countertop or behind a counter, say at a local hotel or a local restaurant, or in different areas that they'll be throughout the city. This will strive to be the conversation opener, where it will encourage people to ask what is going on, or what are the 3 events each month. This piece in the middle, that's just a piece of paper right now, will change out each month, and those key 3 events that we talked about will be on that. And as we train the members of the staff of the business that they're located in, and somebody says, hey, what's going on? That training will help them say, hey, this is what's going on. Here are the things you want to know about, and here are the events and activities. And so we hope that it will keep people going to our events, make our event numbers increase, and help those people come on back to that event next year and come back next month and know that there's a place that they can go every single time and they can find out what's going on. It will also have a QR code on it, and that will direct people who want to go a little more digitally, that maybe a younger generation, that they can just click on that. It'll bring them directly to the Show Low Chamber website, and that will, right on the main page, tell them, here are the 3 events that we want you to know about for the month of November, September, whatever it is. And so we're excited about that change. We're excited about that addition and bringing the program up and starting to do it. Like I said, it's already started. We've commissioned a local business, Rodeo Log Works, to make these. And of course, they've got a Show Low White Mountain flair to them. They look cool. They look good, and they're going to look good as we place them throughout the city. And so Lonnie's in the works right now of making several of them, and the residents will start seeing them placed throughout the community in different places, and they'll know what's going on, and we'll get them up to speed as well. So we're excited about it.
Good.
So is there any questions at all that I can address? I'd love to talk to them, please.
I just appreciate the effort that you put forth and giving it a little more direction and responding back to you, and give us great update at our retreat of what's happening and some of the changes that you and your board are working on. That can help drive some of the tourism
You bet.
more so to our area.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you. Next item here is we are getting ready for cold season here. Mr. Ryan Hall here on our snow removal plan.
Bill, how's your throat? You doing okay? Not sore anytime?
All right. It's all right. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Rick Austin was supposed to do this presentation tonight. He was called away this afternoon, so I will be making his presentation here for him. And here to help me with the presentation is Ryan Hall, our street supervisor and world-renowned public speaker. So
Well, let's hear from Ryan.
Good luck.
You sure turned red on that one.
So we'll get started here. During a snow event, the city of Show Low is split into 14 routes that 28 plow operators are responsible for. When a call out is necessary, 14 of the 28 drivers will begin plowing their assigned routes. These routes are shown on the map on your screen. I also gave you a hard copy. And my apologies, it's hard to find 10 or 14 different contrasting colors, so some of these colors look very similar. If you do have any questions about specific routes, Ryan knows them by heart, and he can answer those questions. The main pieces of equipment that we use are 4 10-wheel trucks, 2 6-wheel trucks, 3 loaders with plows, and several pickups for cul-de-sacs and the narrower streets. In conjunction with the streets operations, the Parks and Facilities Maintenance Team, led by Mike Mariscal, will start cleaning sidewalks and parking lots at all the city-owned buildings, which include the Bus Barn, Aquatic Center, Senior Center, Police Department, City Hall, Library, Museum, the streetscape on the Deuce Clubs, Cemetery, and the Parks and Parks Trails, and also the Public Works Building. The main pieces of equipment used for these are 4 pickup trucks, 2 side-by-sides with plows, and 2 tractors equipped with front-end loaders, and of course, manual snow plows. During a snow event, Ryan, Mike, or Rick will assess the need for the equipment that may be necessary to be deployed for snow removal or de-icing operations. Snow removals are classified into 4 levels. Level 1 is reserved for 1/2 inch to 2 inches of snow. When the fall starts, Ryan, Matt, or Rick will start monitoring the streets for any slick areas that may need treatment, such as cinders or a mix of de-icer and cinders that were pre-approved by council. The pre-approved are the de-icing areas that we use. We don't want to get in the habit of putting them on every street, so we just try to hit hot spots. Level 2 is reserved for 2 or 3 inches of snowfall. At this point, the Public Works is out making sure all school bus routes, collector streets, transit routes, and city-owned parking lots remain open by a combination of light plowing and cinder spreading. At this time, additional Public Works staff will be put on standby for a full call-out if necessary. Level 3 is reserved for 3 inches or more of snow and triggers a full call-out of 2 12-hour shifts that are supervised by Ryan as the Shift A coordinator and Matt Armillo as the Shift B coordinator. Public Works is split between the 2 shifts, and snow operations continue until the streets are open and passable to traffic. After the snowfall has ceased, streets will be widened. Public Works follows a predetermined sidewalk list that is in the plan, which includes the City Hall, parking, and the entire downtown area. Level 4 is reserved for a severe storm event that triggers a haul-off of snow and impedes traffic and rescue services to pre-designated dump sites. The last function of the snow plan is removing snow berms for the elderly and disabled citizens of the city. The city will return to the approved locations for snow boom removal when a resident has submitted a snow berm removal form with a doctor's statement that the applicant is physically unable to perform the act of shoveling snow. A snow berm removal form is available upon request of the City Show Low City Hall by calling Public Works Department at 928-532-4100 or by downloading the form at the city's website, www.sholowaz.gov. During a snow event, the airport will be conducting braking action tests on the runway with a Beaumont AF-M2 decelerometer. I think Darth Vader had one of those too, to determine what action needs to take place to keep the airport functional. As the need arises, additional resources and manpower may be rotated to assist in the snow plow or the snow removal process. Staff has created a policy regarding mailbox damage due to snowplow operations. Staff recognizes that the post office regularly has residents put their mailbox in the city's right-of-way. Our policy allows the residents to put the mailbox in the right-of-way with proper permitting process and gives direction as to what can be installed by the citizen. If damage is reported, the resident has the option to make a claim to the city, have the city replace the mailbox, or fix it themselves and submit a receipt to the city. Before a claim is paid, a city representative will verify if the damage is indeed due to the snowplow operations and not for other reasons like rotten posts or pre-existing conditions. And Public Works does run their routes ahead of time and document things like busted leaning over mailboxes and things like that. So we do have a handle on where the problem areas are. If we do deem it necessary that the city is responsible for the damage, a reimbursement up to $100 or the value of the mailbox can be obtained by the citizen. Public Works will photograph any damages and keep a log, which include the date, address, type of damage repaired, costs of material, time, labor for each repair. Also, there is no parking allowed on city streets during snow removal events. Parked vehicles impede the safe passing of snow plowing equipment. If staff cannot contact the vehicle owner, they may be subject to towing and ticketing. And that is a city ordinance. I have the ordinance number, but I think you care about that. And at this point in time, we're ready for questions.
Thank you. Any comments or questions at all? We just appreciate what you guys do to keep the roads clear as soon as possible, and it's a task that very few communities can hold a candle to you. You guys do a great job, you really do. So appreciate it.
Thank you. These guys work really hard at it.
Great. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next item is new business, consideration of award of a contract amended for supervisory control and data acquisition, known as SCADA control system. Mr. Cup.
Thank you, Mayor Council. The approved fiscal year 2019-2020 budget includes funding for Phase 3 of the supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system for the city's water system. The city owns and operates an extensive potable water distribution system of wells, storage reservoirs, and booster pump stations that provide drinking water and fire protection to the residents of the city and surrounding areas. Technological advances require upgrading the system to consolidate and standardize electrical control instrumentation and communication systems into a common, modern, and reliable control platform. In December 2017, staff prepared a request for qualifications and received responses from 5 interested companies. After the selection committee reviewed the statements of qualifications, PACE Advanced Water Engineering was determined to be the highest ranked firm. PACE was the design firm that worked on the city's wastewater treatment plant upgrades. PACE demonstrates that a complete understanding of the existing SCADA system and believes in using as much of the existing system as possible. Because of the extent of the upgrades, this project was programmed to be completed in phases over 5 years. The city approved Phase 2 of this project in September at the September 2018 meeting. Phase 2 is nearing completion, and staff intends to move immediately into Phase 3 to maintain continuity. The scope of Phase 3 includes continuing hardware upgrades by installing and configuring 20 new high-speed Ethernet radios at all well sites and at the Public Works building. This phase also includes supply, configuration, programming, and commissioning of a new SCADA server and hardware and software licensing for 5 client connections to the server. Software installation and configuration of 3 city-supplied laptops for remote connection to the new SCADA system. New graphical displays and control menu screens will be developed and installed on the new SCADA system. A detailed scope of work is also included in the council packets. Future phases of the work will be presented to council for approval as contract amendments. Staff recommends approving the contract amendment for the SCADA control system Phase 3 with PACE Advanced Water Engineering in an amount not to exceed $130,000. I know I'd be happy to answer questions.
Any comments or questions? So this is Phase 3 of 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then is Phase 4 and 5 the same amount for 4 and 5 ballparkish, or?
The phases ranged in cost from $130,000 to $180,000 per phase, and I'm not sure what the exact number is. It's close to $300,000 for the 2 final pieces of this project.
Okay. I won't try to go into that because I don't understand it. But if we can survive with Phase 3, Why do we need 4 and 5?
This project ideally would have been a single phase and a single project. Because of budgeting constraints, we didn't want to have such a large project happen all at once in 1 year.
Okay.
So we asked PACE to give us a phased approach to the project. And they have prioritized the improvements in order to make it as workable as early as possible. And we do have, many of the components are working now. This radio phase will really tie things together. The last couple of phases mostly concern off-site controls. So you can actually turn wells on and off, or turn up the flow in a well up and down, or basically move water around and do our blending, which we blend for arsenic and other constituents. We can control that blending operation remotely from these laptops in the SCADA system.
Expensive Alexa.
Just a,
Councilmember Leach.
just a comment, the way electronics go, so by the time we get 5 done, is one going to be out of the picture?
No, that's a good
Phases?
question. We really, the way we understand that is the biggest and the fastest change in technology is in the radios and the telecommunication. One of the options we looked at, and actually part of this phase 3, is we're going to have 2 locations that are actually cell phones instead of radios because of their locations. I think what's going to happen in the future is that the cell phone or some other technology we don't even know about is probably going to replace the radios. But PACE had done a study and showed over time they presented us 3 different options. The options we selected was a hybrid, and part of the cost estimate that they did for that took into account replacing radios every 5 years. So as technology progresses, we do have an idea of what those costs are going to be in the future, and that was part of our decision on how we went in phase 3.
Councilmember Crittenden.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay.
I move to approve the contract amendment for the supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA control system phase 3 with PACE Advanced Water Engineering in an amount not to exceed $130,000.
Okay, we have a motion, a second by Councilmember Kelly. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that pass 6-0. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next item we have is a summary of current events. I'd like the council members of any current events they'd like to share. Councilwoman Kakavas.
I represented the council at Summit's open house on October 5th, and they opened 3 new facilities and an investment in our community of over $80 million. So it's very impressive, and Summit provides over 1,400 jobs to our communities.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Crittenden.
I want to remind everybody that tomorrow morning is White Mountain Business Owners Roundtable at 11:30.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And anyway, at
William.
Torian, and invite everybody to go there. It's a very, very good presentation, and you get breakfast/lunch. So, okay.
Any other reports? Turn time to city manager for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. A few items to report on upcoming Halloween events. Thursday, October 24th, the Recreation Department will have 2 back-to-back events at Shoal City Park, beginning with the trick-or-treat trail for boys and girls ages 10 and younger at 6 p.m., followed by the Terror Trail for ages 11 to 17 at 7:15 p.m. Tickets can be pre-purchased for $3 or they'll be $5 at the event. On Friday, October 25th, the library will host a family-friendly carnival for families with children ages 10 and younger from 6:15 to 8 p.m. There will be games, prizes, treats, and a lot of fun. Kids are encouraged to dress up in a costume. And the library's number is 532-4070. Then on Saturday, October 26th, is Shoal Main Street's annual Spooktacular Festival, which will be from noon to 8 p.m. at a new location. It'll be held at Frontier Fields this year. This spooktacular features Halloween-themed events and games, trick-or-treating, costume contest, food and craft vendors, and live entertainment. And then the final event for Halloween holiday is Thursday, October 31st at 7 p.m. A free movie in the park will be shown at Frontier Fields, and there will be concessions available. And the Recreation Department's number for information on these events is 532-4140. Shoal TV recently produced a new video about our local Shoal Senior Center, what it does for our community, and how citizens can get involved. The video is available on the City of Shoal Facebook page and has already received 2,700 views. Today, you might have noticed the smoke on the south of Shoal. The Arizona Department of Forestry and the Fire Management resumed ignition of the second phase of the 35-acre Brownlow burn, 4 miles northwest of Pine Top, south of Maverick gas station, and south side of State Route 260. Smoke's expected to be moving through Billy Creek towards Shoal. So we get quite a few calls on the smoke, and when they see almost looking like plumes out to the south of us, but those are our control burns at this time. And then on drivers on US 60 between Miami and Superior, this will be good to know for future trips down to the valley. They should expect full closures on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. for about 8 weeks, beginning the week of October 21st. The project's expected to take about 2 years to complete. They're constructing a new bridge at Pennell Creek, and then they'll remove the existing bridge. And then finally, in public works projects, we have quite a few public works projects occurring throughout town, and we thank the patience with our citizens on the projects as we improve the City of Shoal's infrastructure. As you know, there's sidewalk projects happening on McNeil, behind Count Ranch, and on South Central Avenue. The work continues on the 24th Drive sewer main project. It's a main replacement or an additional main on 24th Drive. And then Sierra Vista roadway reconstruction should be paving next week, I think, in their schedule to repave those roads. Fairway Park waterline improvements are continuing. And again, we thank everybody for their patience as we do these projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Okay. At this time, scheduling of meetings. Scheduling meetings. We do have our Mayors and Council Association meeting on Thursday. Anybody that's would like to go over to St. John's? St. John's. Then we have an executive session this evening where discussion of concerning Timber Mesa Fire Medical District intergovernmental agreement. And then also, how many minutes there? And then we have the minutes of the August 19th, 2019. So I need a motion to move into executive session. We have a motion by Councilmember Leach, seconded by Vice Mayor. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. This time we'll move into executive session. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.